Welcome to Sake and Hot Tubs with Fred and Lisa, where big ideas start small, just like conversations shared over a glass of sake and a soak in the hot tub. So pull up a chair, pour a glass, and let's dive in, because in this hot tub, ideas don't float, they take shape. Well, welcome to Sake and Hot Tubs. As you see, we are actually on location. We are not necessarily in our studio, but we're actually in beautiful Tempe, Arizona. We're actually here for our APM leadership seminars and management, and we actually are great to be here.
Great to be here, Fred.
Yeah.
Great to be here. I agree.
That'll be edited out.
No, let's just keep the one take. Let's
One
just go
take,
through it.
man.
One take.
All right. On our podcast, Sake and Hot Tubs, we have Ned Payant. Ned currently serves as the chairman of our board for our parent company, American Pacific Mortgage. Ned previously served as APM's president for 3 years, as well as EVP of Enterprise Production, EVP of Operations. He has over 30 years.
Ooh, 30
years.
Of management experience in our industry, which shows prowess as under his leadership, APM has expanded coast to coast. I was the farthest East Coast office at one point.
Yes, you were.
And has seen record profitability. Outside of the mortgage biz, which we love stuff outside the mortgage biz, Ned enjoys active lifestyle with his wife Debbie, supporting his 2 children, and of course, rooting for the Green Bay Packers and now the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah.
Ned's solution-first mentality and his support of our branches doing business under APM is only part of why we are excited to have him here today. Welcome to the pod,
Wow, thank you. And so the cyclone gear that we're wearing, it seems inappropriate, but now it seems more appropriate when I put on the Kansas Jayhawks. So I am a new proud member of Jayhawk Nation.
Yes.
And I used to be a fan of Iowa State until I had a kid who decided to go to Lawrence, Kansas to school. A California kid that went to Lawrence. So
to Lawrence, that is so crazy. Midwest.
Yeah. So, but here we are in Phoenix. We're at our conference, and thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
And this is we're in Big 12 country right now.
We're
on the campus.
The exciting part,
Yeah.
right?
ASU.
Right now.
ASU, Arizona, and Arizona State, right?
Right.
We are like.
Right. Don't like Arizona.
No,
I mean, I like
we
the
don't.
people of Arizona.
Yeah.
Don't like the University of Arizona programs, sports programs, or ASU.
No.
It's all about the Cyclones and the Jayhawks.
Right.
Can we just agree to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, we were talking about, it is about the community, because we support the community. That's how we became in terms of supporting the Cyclones, supporting, the Jayhawks, and Rock Chalk, as you say.
Yes, indeed. I do.
Chalk.
Yeah.
Had to look that up. And,
Yeah.
Basically how it came about.
We didn't tour Iowa State, but I going through this process and having a kid who's a 20-year-old kid, and I also have an 18-year-old who's
going through the process.
We're going through the process, and it's much different with the boy than it is with the girl. And I don't know if that's a gender thing, or if that's an age thing, or if it's just she's a lot smarter than he is. I don't know, something in there. But I read about all these schools, and my kids. I have family obviously in the Midwest, so they've always kind of been drawn to try something new. But they were born and raised in California. Wanted to go to Ames, and they for what we just couldn't.
That would have been fun.
We couldn't get it. But everything I read, and I haven't been to Ames. I've been to Des Moines and Iowa City a long time ago. But everything I read, Ames is awesome and like a great college town and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'd like to get up there, maybe do a game or something. Maybe
that'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe
that'd be fun.
Awesome.
I think when we have a Kansas Iowa State game, you have to we just have to get together.
Yeah, I wish they played at Kansas City.
Yeah.
In the Chiefs deal or whatever stadium, and but I'd like to go up in Ames and see a game. So maybe before my kid graduates, I'll get up there for a game with you guys.
Yeah, do a little Jack Trice or Hilton. I feel that if it's basketball, it's Hilton Magic. It's a whole deal.
And congratulations to your Cyclones who are in the Sweet 16. Playing tonight.
Yes,
I don't know when you're going to run against Tennessee, which I now I'm a big fan. Now that the Jayhawks are out, I'm a big fan of the Cyclones. Big 12.
Big 12.
Big
Yeah,
12.
cheer on the Big 12.
Yeah.
Hope that one of us.
You feel that way about Arizona? I guess I probably will.
They're kind of newer to
Yeah,
the Big 12, so
yeah.
it's a little harder to sort of, all of us talk about that, wrap your head around.
Yeah, but I really I love watching this. Like I'm a kind of a college basketball junkie still at my age, and I love the way that Iowa State plays. I love their game, and I hope they do well. And I think they will. They're a great team.
I do too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, let's kind of transition a little bit. You know, you and I were kind of chatting and about, you know, I think you're the leader in APM that's actually had the most leadership positions in the company.
Wow.
When you think
I don't know if that's
when you think about that, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
But,
oh, all right.
but with each one, and we were kind of chatting before, it's like, well, there had to be something that led you to come to a company, you know, 16 years ago,
Yeah.
and actually create something that was nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it was nothing.
Yeah.
So, kind of, if you talk about that, what skill set did you have that allowed you now to come into a brand new environment? And you took a risk.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That was a big risk for you to do.
You know, I don't know if it's a skill set so much, and I think it might be more DNA than skill, but you know, always be curious. You know, the having different roles and different leadership roles, and whether it be on the operations side or being on the production side or anything like that. For me, it's kind of like, you know, the always be curious.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're good, you know, if you want to move on, if you want a bigger role, if you want to grow in your leadership, you always have to be curious, and that's a mindset. And you got to kind of force yourself, and you got to always ask the why and find out what's going on the other side of the curtain. Get it together, you know, understand your own operation and get it running as smoothly as possible. But then, if you want a bigger role, be curious and ask questions, and whether it be in a production or capital markets or compliance or whatever it may be. You just got to go out and find it. And so if you always kind of have that curious mentality, that kind of leads you to, at least it did for me, it kind of leads you up to other, you know, roles, and that's what's happened in the 16, almost 17 years that I've been here. It's just, you know, you kind of get something going, and then say, hey, how does that work? And I'd like to find out a little bit more about that.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because yesterday one of the speakers had brought up about being comfortable and then not being comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like once you start being comfortable, it's like you almost accept mediocrity, right? Or you're willing to accept it.
Yeah.
And then you actually have to challenge yourself by being curious.
Yeah.
To actually being uncomfortable again.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of what you did in terms of your position.
So, you know, that reminds me, Fred, of my first job, and my first kind of leadership job when I took over in a different organization, but a pretty big, you know, operation leadership role. It included, you know, overseeing credit and underwriting, that sort of thing, in the mortgage business, and you know, which we've for better or worse, we've been in for a long time.
Because we all learned how to do this.
Yeah.
Very early on, right.
But you know, what was interesting there was, I had at one point I accepted this job, and I went to this company, and I didn't underwrite, and I was managing like 30 underwriters, and I felt really uncomfortable, quite honestly. And I was like, talking about being uncomfortable, and it's like I can't do this effectively. I don't have to be the best. I've never been the best underwriter, but I can't do my job unless I really understand their job. And so then I said, okay. And at this company, this was back in the day. I don't know if we'll ever return to these days, but it was like, you know, you came in at 8 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes you worked till 11 o'clock at night. It's just what we did.
Whatever, get it done.
And so I would, you know, kind of do my day job, you know, from 8 till 5 or whatever, and then I'd underwrite from 5 till 10 at night. Yes. And I had some really, really good people, really kind people who helped me understand what I was doing. But I was uncomfortable for a while, and I just kind of said, well, I'm gonna kind of figure it out. And I did I did the same thing in closing. I've done that a number of times in my career, where it's like, if I'm overseeing something, I need to do it. You know, I don't have to be great at it. I just need to know. I need to walk in their shoes, you know, so that I can talk to it. You know, same thing on the production side. You know, when I moved over from operations onto the sales role, and I've done that in 2 different organizations. The first one, I was in the wholesale business where we're buying loans and working with brokers and stuff like that. And and so I ran operations, and then I ran the sales team, and they were account executives. And it was a little, a wholesale account executive. You go into a broker shop, and you'd talk with the the loan officers and try to help them out and stuff like that. And so being an AE was kind of natural for me because I kind of have that mentality. But it was different on the retail side. And so then I said, well, then I got to get licensed to be a loan officer, and I have to originate a loan or two, and I did for some friends and family's loans, because I felt like I need to walk in your shoes. I need to walk in your shoes and really understand the stress of. And I had a couple of transactions where they were stressful, and I was like,
loan dreams, man.
Yeah. And but in order to be able to recruit and retain and to kind of do that, I just was go through that. That uncomfortable stage. Yeah. I'll just say, I'm not, hey, read this book or that book, and that's not really kind of my jam. But I did read The Obstacle is the Way, and many years ago, and it's one of I go back to that book over and over again. It's so simple, but it's like it is very, at the end of the day, it's whatever the challenge is, you just need to freaking go through it, and chances are the more you do this and I don't know if we should make that. Just go through it, man. Whatever the obstacle is, just freaking barrel through it. You don't know how to underwrite, go underwrite. You don't know how to originate, go originate. Figure it out. That's the.
So don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Just freaking go out. Just the obstacle is the way. Just go right through it. And that's kind of served me well. And in my my simple thought process is the power of three. Just I can't think of more than three things at a time. So when we started, and you were both here at the time when I started. Well, how long have you?
11 years.
11 years. So
he's been there a lot longer.
We what about you, Fred? Probably about the same. You and I. You were here before me. 18. Yeah. I don't know if you remember. We had like 8 or 11 or something core values. And then they came in. These are our core values, and I had them on my.
I have a hard time with the 3.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what our core. Yeah, it's like, and I'd look at it, and I had it on my wall. I was like, I really need to know these core values. This is the company's core, and I'm like, I'm never going to know. Figure out 8, and so respect. You treat people with respect. You're transparent. And you're scrappy, which there's respect and transparency and scrappy are our core values. Yeah. I can kind of get my head around that.
I can remember that
too. and it's like for example, we're here at this conference, and so we're not up in our branches, and we're not at home office and all that kind of stuff. And so there's other people, and you probably do the same thing. And what I do, and I have for years, I said, hey man, you don't need me. Not that anybody needs me anymore much, but it's. It's like run everything through that prism, make decisions, empower people to make decisions, and just make sure at the end of the day, if you're treating people with respect, if you're transparent and you're scrappy about it, chances are it's going to work out. And if you make a mistake, who cares?
Right.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
Just don't make.
Actually, if you don't make a mistake, that's actually a negative thing. Because
for sure.
You didn't try anything.
For sure.
You didn't push the envelope, or you didn't push through, like you said.
Yeah.
I love that. So when you were talking about like going through the obstacle, I love that. So you have 2 kids, right? You have one in college, one going to college.
Yep.
So if you're talking, because I think there's a lot of people, like everybody says, like most of us never thought we were going to be in the mortgage industry, right? Because we all thought we went to college for something else, most of us.
What did you think you were going to do?
So I have my degree in education. I was going to teach.
Okay. Fred?
Hotel management.
Oh, okay. Cal State Northridge.
Yep.
Yeah, so how about that?
Yeah.
What did you think you were going to do?
I was going to be on ESPN. I got a journalism degree.
Yeah.
I started out, working and when I got out of school, I started working for a small newspaper. And I wrote articles, and I sold advertisement. I helped copy. I mean, it was small. And I was making nothing.
I was going to say,
next to nothing.
Probably not the most profitable job.
No, it wasn't. But it's I don't know. At the time, of course, boy, I would not recommend journalism to anybody
Passion
anymore.
versus profit.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, that's how I got into the business. And I don't know where you were going with that, but that's it was I kind of fell ass backwards into it a little bit myself.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. So. I think that we have this journey that people go on, and I think sometimes your college kids think, oh, I'm going, this is my degree, this is what I'm going to do. And it's good to have purpose, right?
Sure.
But I also think it's good to be flexible. So as you are thinking about, because we have a lot of people that are on a journey that watch and listen to this.
Yep.
So if you were to say, hey, this is what I would say, this is like just a piece of advice, because I think what you've done and where you've gone, like I love the go through the obstacle.
Yeah.
Like I think because people get hung up.
Yeah.
What else would you say? Like
So,
just,
yeah, and because I have kids at this age, and they're, not that they listen to me, but I keep telling them.
They will in about 10 years or 20 years.
Yeah, they are not. They did 10 years ago and maybe 10 years from now. But right now, I guess, I don't know, two things. Number one, I place a high value on the ability to communicate. And I think that's a lost art.
yes.
I think those are skills that are more important now than they've ever been. And people are all, people, depending on who you are, you're either excited or you're afraid of AI.
Yes.
And artificial intelligence is going to replace us all and that sort of thing. I don't buy into that. I think it's a tool. I think it's going to help us. Every new technology that we've had, for the most part, has advanced us as a society. And I know there's pros and cons to a lot of it. But with the AI, it's like, they're going to do repetitive tasks for us. So if your job is a repetitive task, you might want to, kind of think about your career. But it's not going to be a decision. There's no emotional intelligence to it. There's no relationship. I know it can help you. It can help you craft a message to somebody, or how do I have this? What do I say at a podcast with a bunch of people who are Cyclone fans? It's like I have nothing in common with these people. But I do think that communicate. If I tell my kids, man, communication, get comfortable with public speaking. That's another thing, which people are not. They just get really worked up about it. And I really push my kids into being comfortable with speaking in public and doing some of that stuff. And like my daughters, and for example, I encourage her to get into mock trial in high school and debate and that sort of thing. I think
Are you feeling the repercussions of that?
I am. If I had to do over again, I would have said just play volleyball. Forget about this, debate stuff.
Don't argue with me about that. You're
She,
right.
In fact, she recently told my wife. She told my wife that they had a little dust up, and she said she's undefeated. And she's like, "What do you mean undefeated?" She's like, "I've never lost an argument to Mom." I'm like, "Oh my God." And I'm like,
well, why are you keeping track?
And by the way, I've never won one, so it all evens out. But no, I think communication is number one. I think it's very important. I think soft skills are a little bit of a lost art, and I
think they're going to rise to the top.
I think so too.
Because there's not. You said it's a lost art, so if you actually can do that, you're going to rise to the top.
Whether you're a realtor or a mortgage professional or a doctor or a lawyer, you have to have the ability. We're humans. We have to have the personal touch. There has to be a human touch. There has to be a relationship piece. In my opinion, if I'm wrong, the world is, going to freaking.
Well, but AI doesn't have empathy.
No.
AI doesn't have sympathy. AI doesn't have that touch that you just mentioned.
Yeah. Kind of like, is this a family show or is this a,
Yes.
I don't know, the other, when it comes to, with, don't be a dick.
Right, yes.
Don't be a dick in life. Whatever. Work hard.
Yeah.
Tell the truth and don't be an ass. And I think that I try to live by that. It has served me well. It's like as you move up the ladder, and you guys know this because I've seen it, and I've seen it with you. There's absolutely no reason to not be relatable to anybody in your organization, anybody in your building. As far as I'm concerned at APM, and I hope this is the case, I have my relationships with the entry-level person are just as strong as our top-level producers, because we all have a job to do, and we all start from it's a different starting line, and so if you can you communicate well and you're not you treat people nicely.
Yes.
I think good things are going to come your way. It may not, it's like. they say nice guys finish last. I don't necessarily think that. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and sometimes, but I think that's important in life, and I do believe in karma. So.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I think I believe in too. I think one of the things I love about APM is just the team. So obviously, being a sports girl myself, you're part of a team.
Yep.
And you don't get to the end, or you don't get to the Sweet 16. Whatever it is, right?
Maybe we gotta go back to that. The 32 was good too.
The 32 was good.
Here's your trophy.
Yeah.
But I do think that whether it's the sports team, you're playing basketball, whether it's APM and you're in the mortgage, when you were talking about the underwriter, the appraiser, the inspector, everybody plays their part.
Yep.
And
all important.
it's all important.
Yeah.
And you might not. Your conversation that you have and everything, yelling at somebody is not going to get you.
Right.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.
Which is so funny because my dad's name is Richard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He's been a dick all his life.
Well, he has. And actually found out the funny story. He was working with Fred, never knew this, so he's known as Grandpa Dick. He's all growing, he was Dick. And then he said, who called me Dick? Why didn't they call me Rick or Rich or anything? Who chose to call me Dick?
Yeah, it started at a young age.
Yeah. He goes, I wanted to be called Richard.
And he's like, now he's Richard.
That's funny. I don't know how we got so into this. But
I know.
Hot tubs and sake. By the way, where the hell's the hot tub and where the hell's the sake? Yeah.
We usually have that. We didn't have any to bring. But we do have a question. So with everything, so we know the mortgage industry, whatever industry people are in, it could be a little stressful, but we have deadlines, you have profit, you have a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So where does Ned go? What do you do? So this whole podcast came about because the hot tub and sake, that's where we sit, we talk, it's our incubator. You can't have it unless, I guess, our phone numbers.
Is this at the office or where's the?
In our backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, right. We don't have a hot tub yet at the office.
Yeah,
that's
I was
the
wondering
comp.
what that.
Where's because most people we're finding have that spot or where you go to get rejuvenated, you're brainstorming,
a physical spot?
Yeah, do you have a
geography?
place?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I live in Northern California. I live in the Sacramento area, and we're close to Lake Tahoe, and so we have a little place up in Truckee, California, and it's when you get up there and you walk in and you open the windows and it's the smell of alpine. We're at about 6,500 feet. And it's quiet, and you hear owls and coyotes, and there's hiking and biking and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's 75 minutes from our house.
Oh, nice.
And so anytime. In fact, today we're doing this at noon on Friday. I'll be up. I'll be home tonight at probably 9 or 10 o'clock when we fly back in, and I'm trying to talk my wife into, hey, let's
go.
Let's get up there. Let's get up there Saturday and Sundays. Yeah. So it's really it really doesn't take much. If I can go up there and breathe the mountain air for a day or two, I feel great, man. I come back and I'm rejuvenated.
I like that. Actually, there was a house I love that because we have a little cabin lake home too, and just that you open the door or open that, and it's amazing how it just is a mental.
It really is. That's my place.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate this. Like I said, I'm glad we were able to corner you and get you into this. And again, this is just a very relaxed conversation that we love having. And I always think that people, take the nuggets that they want to take and actually use it for themselves. So again, obviously, to be uncomfortable, drive through the obstacle, which I love. I think is actually one of the two, things that I'll take away from this conversation.
Well, look, and anybody young and coming up, and I don't, and again, I go a little bit too heavy on the college age stuff, but that's where my kids are at.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of friends and who are going through some of the same stuff, and every kid's journey is something different or whatever. And I, not that it's necessarily inspirational, but it's, being dedicated is more important than being inspired, and having discipline is more important because that sticks with you. If you're disciplined, you're good. And I've had a number of positions with this company and a previous company, and look, I took 8 years in 3 schools just because I was not focused. I didn't have discipline or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like anybody that's in this, whether they're in a mortgage business or the real estate business or any business, your attitude and effort are going to take you. You don't need to be the freaking smartest guy in the room or the smartest gal in the room. You need to be hardworking, and you need to have the. I would hire somebody with great attitude and great effort. Over somebody that had this
valedictorian,
this fancy degree and all that stuff. That just doesn't matter.
Correct.
The smartest guy or the smartest woman in the room. Nobody cares about where they went to school or what kind of grades they got or whatever. It's just if you've got the right attitude, you got to be you got to be coachable and stuff like that. And you have to have aptitude, but attitude and effort, man. As far as I'm concerned, every day.
Don't they call that grit?
Grit. Yeah.
And that comes down to it. When you just encompass what grit is.
Yeah. So we're wrapping up, I think. We're going to go grab some lunch. But before we go, just one more shout out to anybody that's a Cyclone fan and you want to reach out and join the Jayhawk Nation. Feel free. You get my number through these guys.
He's a fan, man.
But secondly, I didn't even know where Kansas was until 2 years ago. We visited the campus on the day when they were playing. There was at Allen Fieldhouse. We went to it. We went to a couple of different schools, and it was Kansas, Oklahoma basketball game at Allen Fieldhouse, and it was kind of insane. And I'm looking at my kid and my wife, and my wife is kind of like, really? And I'm Jack. Are we doing this? So listen. So really, before I have Fred, this is maybe this is I don't know if this I was a community property, so maybe it's for both of you. But
no, it's not.
Yeah. So we had a symposium, in Dallas, and we had the keynote speaker. Number 22.
Yeah, my favorite of all time, Emmitt Smith.
Oh, he was,
Is
he
he
was
your
like
favorite?
he was like a little kid. He was
I was actually shaking.
He was shaking.
Did you
he was
meet
so
him?
excited.
Yeah.
You got a picture?
We got a picture.
Okay.
And I was actually I was like laughable shaking.
Well, this is just a little something from me to you, and I thought that I'd share it with you, and I knew that we were going to meet down here in Phoenix.
What is
So there is a
no way.
You're awesome, man.
yeah.
By the way, this is not community property.
So we talked with him a little bit before he went on stage, and we were talking football. He's a great guy, as it turns out. I was just really impressed with him. A little bit of fanboy action going on, just because because saw him growing up as well. But then he signed like 3 football. He's like, they don't really, he had handlers. So we don't really do this. So anyway, I got one, and somebody else got. And I brought it back to my office, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not a freaking Cowboys fan. I'm a Packer fan. I don't need. So I said next time.
One of ours.
So I said next time I see my friend Fred Krieger, I'm gonna.
That is so cool.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
that is
means a lot.
There you go,
yeah.
man.
Thank you, man.
So all right.
So fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
all right, guys.
you.
Thank you.
So good.
All right.
All right.